What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome to the final recap of the first half of the 2024 MLB season. Yesterday's slate of games gave us some crazy moments. Two different dudes hit 3 home runs in one game. Alex Verdugo, yeah, his fan base wants to send him to outer space after he forgot how to baseball. A Marlins player, he's going to be missing a lot of the second half because he kicked a wall. The Giants, they may or may not have walked it off on a Little League home run. And at the end of today's recap, don't miss it, we're going to do a full breakdown of the first half standings and stat leaders across the game. Don't forget, everyone, MLB Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy if you're going to any games anytime soon. Save yourself 20 bucks off on me. And also, if you're watching the Home Run Derby, add some extra fun to it. Download Underdog Fantasy. My code Fuzzy gets you this free Gunnar Henderson pick'em. All he has to do is show up and hit a home run. That's it, and you win. So without further ado, let's start talking baseball. And I'm just going to say, the baseball gods better protect this kid for once. Well, he's not even a kid anymore, but Brent Honeywell, he's been through it. He's had 4 elbow surgeries already, and I just pray that the Dodgers can get the most out of him. He went 3 shutout on 1 base hit against the Tigers and even left with a lead. We're going to skip to the 9th. The Tigers, they clawed their way back into it. Rookie Justin Henry Malloy, he ties it with a base hit up the middle. The Dodgers, they're literally in danger of getting walked off for the 2nd game in a row. Ryan Vilade, he dropped down a bunt, and Johan Ramirez, he botched not only this play, but seconds later, another bunt, and he threw that one away. He blew the game all by himself. That is back-to-back walk-offs. The Tigers, they're 47-50 going into the second half. Do they have a comeback in their back pocket? Let me know. So before we show the Yankees and the Orioles game, Blake Snell, he looked like his Cy Young self for once, and he got some run support in the 2nd and the 3rd. Tyro Estrada, he plates Matt Chapman, and Patrick Bailey, he knocked in Lamont Wade Jr., so it's 2-0 for Blake Snell, who had a literal no-hitter through 6 innings. He's back out for the 7th. Margot, he chased, but they didn't call it a swing, and honestly, it could have gone either way. It was really close, and you could have guessed what happened next. He allows a base hit. Snell, at least he didn't let that phase him. He got the double play, and then he got a guy to go fishing, so 7 scoreless, only 1 base hit. Not a single Twin reached 2nd base against him, so he's in line for the W. Camilo Duvall, he's pretty good, but Manuel Margot, he hit the gap, 2 scores, so he ties it. He wanted 3, but he fell over and had to scurry back, and we might have an actual triple now because Margot, he missed it in the outfield. Yaz, he's on his horse, and then rookie Brooks Lee, he hit the red on his throwing meter. He airmailed it to absolutely no one. One of the worst throws I've ever seen. The Giants, they do walk it off on a Little League home run, so they close out the second half with a W. So just like the Tigers, the Giants are 47-50. Oh, here we go. This next game was a classic. Some of you already know how it ends, but let's see what led up to the final inning. Grisham, a nice little RBI, and Gunnar Henderson, he's showing that he's so ready for the home run derby. Again, do not forget to use code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy. He has 28 home runs, one of the greatest first halves we've ever seen from not only a middle infielder, but of anyone ever. Grisham, he ties it up. He hit that ball so hard, his helmet started falling off of his head. So it's 2-2 after 5 when Anthony Santander, he went full Tony Taters. He's up to 24 home runs. In steps Craig Kimbrell. He is trying to get career save number 431. Now, he did walk 2 guys, but he hasn't blown a save in over a month. Oh no, his Rice got fried. Ben Rice comes through with a go-ahead 3-run moonshot, his 6th home run of the season. But I guess Clay Holmes felt bad that his fellow closer blew a game, so he wanted to blow one as well. But the thing is, it's not 100% his fault because he got 2 separate outs with 2 outs. Holmes did get Mountcastle to roll over for the 3rd out, and Volpe just booted it. And if you thought that was bad, Verdugo, he must have slipped on a banana like you're playing Mario Kart. I don't know what happened right there. Just a terrible read off the bat. The Orioles, they walk it off on a Mullins fake double. I mean, it's not a fake double because it's a real double, but what was Verdugo doing? He just got fooled. All right, we got to check out this Phillies and A's game because the A's hit their most home runs since June of 1996. I wasn't even born yet. Trey, he showed the A's their future. He said, you guys are going to be doing a lot of this today. By the way, Trey has 8 home runs in his last 12 games. Trey's an all-star, by the way, and I have no idea how this guy is not. Brent Rooker ripped the 14,000th home run in A's history. That's his 20th home run on the year. The Butler is here. He's got a delivery. Just trying out for the A's broadcasting spot. Lawrence, he smoked another long home run for the A's. And Brent, how are you not an all-star with 21 home runs, 62 RBIs, a 169 very nice OPS plus, and again, you're not an all-star? Seth Brown, that is the 4th home run on the day for the A's. They must have entered in the auto home run cheat code before the game. Lawrence, he's trying for number 2. It's going to be a wall scraper. it's gone. And so is this next ball. 3 players with multiple home runs. That's the first time the A's have ever done that. Seth Brown, there he is with his 2nd home run, and Lawrence Butler. There's no way those fans thought that they were going to get a ball today. His 3rd of the game. He has 7 home runs and 17 RBIs the last week and a half. Philly native Zach Geloff, he got in on the action with an early Christmas gift from the Phillies because they put in a catcher. That's a grand slam. He's from Philly, so he's going to take any big moment that he can get. The A's hit 8 home runs in one game, and if you're talking about all of Major League Baseball, they're 4th in home runs hit as a team. If the A's can get some pitching going into 2025, 2026, and eventually when they move to Vegas, they got some young players that have a lot of talent offensively. Ezequiel Tovar got it going down in Citi Field with a solo home run, but was he the next guy with 3 home runs? Nope, that guy's coming up real soon. I mean, before we show that, German Marquez, he just passed Jorge De La Rosa. I have not heard that name in a long time, but he has the most strikeouts ever by a Rocky. And by the way, he's closing in on 1,000 for his career. Pete, the home run drought is over. He has 19 home runs on the year, so $19,000 to animal shelters. Remember, 1 home run equals $1,000 to shelters. But Pete only hit 1 home run. The 3-homer game was reserved for a guy named Big Mike. Michael Toglia hit his first home run in the 5th. Hold on, we got to show Brenton Doyle because he almost went 20-20 in the first half. 15 home runs, 20 stolen bases. All right, here we go. Number 2 for Michael Toglia. I mean, what is going on today? Tovar with the 2nd home run as well. That's 11 home runs in a 3-game road series. The Rockies have never done that before until yesterday. And Toglia, he extended their history. He makes it 12 home runs over 3 games on the road. Michael Toglia, they call him Big Mike, with a 3-home run game, this time from the right side. Out of nowhere, he has 16 on the season. The Rockies and the Mets 5-game winning streak. And do you think either of these teams will offload some talent at the deadline? Let me know in the comments. So we have a slight break in the action from all of the home runs. We have a 3-bagger from the former Diamondback Dalton Varsho. He might have 50 doubles had he not been traded because that's 3 consecutive games with a triple. The infield's in. Perdomo, he can't smother the Clement chopper, so in scores Dalton. Varsho's at it again, this time on a single. He brings home Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Ernie. He lined another one near shortstop. This time it's an actual RBI. Remember, you don't get an RBI on errors. Zach Gallen was just not himself. He walked Leo Jimenez to set up a there it goes. Kevin Kiermaier with the grandest of home runs. He's hitting 189 on the season, so he needed that in the worst way. The Snakes, they pulled a Blue Jays. They hit a grand slam as well. All-Star game starter Ketel Marte with 4 RBIs on 1 swing. He's got 57 RBIs, 19 home runs, and the Diamondbacks, they kept chiseling at the deficit, and they actually tied it at 7. Grichuk drove in their 5th, and Suarez. He's been incredible lately, and he's really making up for a painfully slow start where they were about to replace him somehow. His 2-run single knots it up, only to have another all-star starter go yard. Vladdy, 440 feet on that frozen rope. He's got 14 home runs. He has a 130 OPS plus. Also, I think 20 doubles as well. Chad Green, he secured his 6th save. The Jays are 44-52. The Diamondbacks, they finished the first half 1 game over 500 at 49-48. You really thought the home runs were done with? We're not even close. There was 4 more in this next game. Adam Frazier, he sent out a solo home run right before Rafael Devers hit a ball so hard it broke a seat. He hit that ball 440 feet at like 1 billion miles an hour. And honestly, if the All-Star voting would have gone until like the last week or 2, he might have been starting over J-Ram. I'm just throwing that out there, even as a biased Guardians fan. Devers has been unreal. All right, a nice little break from the home run action. A nice throw from Tyler O'Neill to nab Hunter Renfroe. And Hunter Renfroe knows a thing or two about throwing guys out. Back to the long balls. Dom Smith, he's got 4 RBIs over his last 2 games after going yard. He's going to make it 5 RBIs in just a second. Got to wait for this ball to land. Salvi, his 17th home run. I mean, every single ball was mashed. Every home run in this game was hit 415 plus feet. The Royals, they got within 1. Now they're back down by 2 because Dom Smith drove in his 5th RBI in the last 24 hours, which was huge for Jansen because he struck out the side in the 8th. He was just mowing guys down, but he wasted a lot of pellets and energy. He had big issues in the 9th. 1 scores after Freddie Fermin had an RBI single, but that's a huge out. Cedar Rafaela with the seed to nab the speedy Garrett Hampson trying for 3rd base, and that means this ground out will seal it. Jansen has 19 saves. His 439 saves are one behind Craig Kimbrell for the active lead, so what a first half from both teams, especially the Red Sox. We're going to talk about the standings and the stats at the end, but yeah, the Red Sox, they've been one of the more shocking teams in a good way. The Royals lost, so we might as well show the Guardians losing. I mean, we already saw the Twins get walked off, and Jose Siri, the best bad baseball player to ever exist. He's got crazy power, power, speed, defense, arm, but he's got a 278 on base and a 35% K rate. That is really bad. Look at Randy at third base dancing around while Ben Lively is on the bump. He's trying to get a balk or something like that. He's halfway home. Ben, he locked in. He got Josh Lowe swinging. He's fired up. He's on all of the adult words. Josh Lowe, he clutched up on defense. He helped Ryan Pepio go 6 scoreless, only 2 base hits. We'll talk about him in a second because Brandon Lau, he hit a mistake pitch, his 9th of the year. Okay, back to Pepio. He's done a fantastic job at replacing Tyler Glasnow. So Ryan Pepio now has 94 strikeouts and 87 innings, and to be honest with you guys, he kind of looks like Tyler Glasnow as well. Again, he goes 6 shutout, only 2 base hits allowed. The Rays, they shut out Cleveland. They take the series, so they head into the All-Star break 48 and 48. The Guardians, they're 58 and 37, so still 21 games over 500 despite losing a lot lately. Now, after the game, the Guardians, they took Aussie Travis Bazana with the #1 overall pick. He's the first second baseman ever taken with the first pick. I love the Charlie Condon pick to the Rockies. Jack Caglione to the Royals is going to be a nightmare for me for the next decade. If you have Jack, Bobby Witt, and Vinny Pasquantino in the same lineup, Salvi, good lord. I also really like the Hagen Smith to the White Sox pick. I'm not going to talk about the draft too much, but a ton of teams, they got better with some really good picks. Before we show off another guy hitting multiple home runs, this Braves and Padres game is getting pretty wild early. Sales on the bump, and the bases are juiced for his former Boston teammate, Xander Bogaerts. Xander won this battle, and it could have been more for San Diego, but Austin Riley, he must have had his G Fuel or something like that before the game because the reflexes were snappy. He saves 2 runs from scoring. Now the Braves, they're scoring 2 runs. Matt Olson, he plates Ozzie in the 4th to tie it, and an inning later, Duvall, he puts the Braves up by 1. The Padres are in trouble now because there's a meeting on the mound. They're talking about how they should attack Travis d'Arnaud, or maybe they were talking about if they wanted to see Despicable Me 4 after the game, because whatever was said, it did not work. Travis delivers with a huge 3-run home run. The ball just kept on traveling and traveling. The Padres' chances of winning aren't looking great, but at least rookie Sean Reynolds looked sharp in his debut. He was pumping upper 90s. He struck out the side. Welcome to the big league, Sean Reynolds. Luis Campusano, the pinch hit 2-run home run. This game is not over yet. Okay, I lied. I actually lied multiple times because not only is the game over, but a guy did hit multiple home runs. Travis now has 9 home runs on the year. 5 of them in 2 games because he had a 3-home run game earlier in the season, 2 home runs in this game. Iglesias, he has 22 saves, and by the way, this was his 500th career appearance. The Padres, they're 50 and 49, whereas the Atlanta Braves, they're now 11 games over 500. They're 53 and 42. We'll do the AL West teams after we talk about these next 2 NL Central games because are the Cubs back? I know they split the series, but they beat up on Miles Mikolas and the Cardinals for 6 home runs. Pete Crow Armstrong, he might be figuring it out. That's his 2nd big league home run. Don't forget his 17 stolen bases and 0 caught stealing. Tomas Nido, that is a textbook swing. Exactly what you should do on that pitch. Just beautiful. PCA again. Pete Crow Armstrong, please be the game that unlocks his power because he has generational speed, glove, and arm strength. Morel, that's his 17th home run. And the broadcaster, Jim Edmonds, yes, the former player, he wasn't happy with the celebration. I guess you should not be having fun if you're hitting 202. Again, I just don't know if he, whatever. But what about that, Jim Edmonds? I know Ian Happ is only hitting 243, but can he not celebrate that one? And no way. Christopher Morel just popped off again. Take that, Jim. Just have some fun. I know he's hitting 204 or something like that after the home run, but let him have some fun. He's got 18 home runs. That's a good amount for the first half. The Cubs, they're 47 and 51. The Cardinals are 50 and 46. Listen, I know it's against the White Sox, but the Pirates, they just swept them and scored 19 runs in 3 games. Don't let the A's 18 runs fool you. 19 runs over 3 games is very impressive. After the White Sox went up a run, O'Neal Cruz, he peppered a long double to tie it at 1. Andrew Benintendi hit a home run. He has 7 home runs on the year, but a negative 1.7 WAR. The White Sox have paid him $25 million to put up a negative 1.5 WAR since 2023, like the beginning of the season. Joey Bart, please keep on doing this. The former Giant super prospect who was a bust, now he's kind of coming alive with the Pirates. He has 6 home runs and a 125 OPS plus. And you want to see why Benny Biceps has a negative WAR? You might have thought, well, he made a good effort. Well, that was a terrible read. He has almost no range anymore. Nick Gonzalez, he turns on the Jets for a 2-run triple, and Josh Palacios, he sent one to the gap. After that, Brian Reynolds, he finished off the game with his 18th home run, and it was weird because he got stuck in the fence, but behind the fence, everyone and their mom was confused, but it was a home run. The Pirates, they are officially a 500 team going into the All-Star break. The Brewers better keep up some winning because the Pirates have won 4 games in a row going into the All-Star break. Skeens and crew, they're really feeling themselves, but Milwaukee has some dogs as well. You just saw Willy Adames split the right center gap, so they strike first. Washington, they tied it, which was not a great idea because I think they made Milwaukee angry. William Contreras with his 11th home run. That was hit very, very far. And then Joey Ortiz, oh no, Lane Thomas. 2 end up scoring on a single turned triple. Garrett Mitchell, 420 feet on this moonshot. He's like Pete Crow Armstrong, where he has ridiculous power, speed, arm, and some pop in that bat as well. He just has to stay healthy. Willy Adames, he had a huge game, so he has 2 RBIs right here, but 4 RBIs sounded better. He caps off a monster first half with 4 base hits in this one. He has 28 doubles, 15 home runs, 12 stolen bases, 67 RBIs, 8 outs above average. Joel Payamsi strikes out the side, and the Brewers, they finished their first half 13 games above 500, whereas the Washington Nationals, I thought that they were going to be a little bit better with James Wood. They're 9 games under 500. Now, prior to this game, the Marlins taking on the Reds, it was announced that outfielder Dane Myers, who's been having a pretty decent first half, he broke his own foot by kicking a wall. Like, what are we doing? He had a 110 OPS plus, multiple outfield assists with the cannon, and now his talent is just being wasted. It's cool that his team stepped up, like Jonah Bride. Cool for him. He scores 2 off of the lefty Nick Lodolo. Now, staying with 2s, Jonathan India, he tagged a double for 2 bases. He ends the no-hitter. And Elly De La Cruz, his 2-run home run is their second base hit of the day, and they tie it at 2. And going against a lefty is big time because Elly was absolutely atrocious versus Southpaws last year. He's got 17 home runs, 46 RBIs, and 8 outs above average in 1/2. One more Red named Cruz. Fernando Cruz gave up a 2-out double to Jake Berger, and again, this is all with 2 outs. Xavier Edwards puts the Marlins back up by 1, and they do not look back. Tanner Scott, he's been incredible. He strikes out 2. He has 14 saves, a 1.3 ERA on the season. But since last year, over his last 118 innings, he has a 1.98 ERA, 149 strikeouts. He's an all-star this year, and Miami, they're 30 games under 500, whereas the Reds are 47 and 50. You guys want to see a special athlete? Look at Joe Adell. Not only can he close open gates, I mean, check out the awareness, but he can also go yard. Wait for it. Mickey Moniak, he had a nice sliding grab out there in center, and are you serious? That's how the perfect game is ruined? An easy out, completely botched by the butcher himself, Keston Hiura. He's literally the worst fielder I think I've ever seen, or at least he's in the conversation. Carson Fulmer, he went 4 2/3 shutout, no base hits, 7 strikeouts. He was the 8th overall pick in 2015. JP Crawford, he was a first-round pick as well, 13th overall in 2013. That's Seattle's first hit, and Seattle got their second run in a really weird way. Robles, he ran into the glove of Brandon Jury, just no chance of catching it. The Halos, they had no chance of getting anything going versus Logan Gilbert. He had 9 strikeouts over 7 scoreless. He only allowed 2 base hits, so he ends his first half with a 2.79 ERA, and he leads the American League with an insane 0.86 whip. I mean, that's just insane going into the second half with a sub 0.9 whip. Now, the crazy part is he's only 6-5 in his win-loss record because of stuff like this. Austin Voth, he walked back-to-back hitters, and now we can see the Mariners are losing. Joe Adell, his 3-run home run surges the Angels to a W. He's hyped up, and he should be. He got the curtain call. They got the save. And would you look at that? The Angels, going into the second half, they've won 3 games in a row. All right, let's see if the Astros can end the first half tie with the Mariners. The Mariners have lost 3 games in a row. All the Astros have to do is not let anyone named Josh hit a home run. I gave you guys the blueprint. Come on, Josh Smith, he's having such a good season. He gave himself the green light up 3-0 in the count. He went to the second deck. Jake Myers, he's having a sneaky good first half. 10 home runs and 9 outs above average. And now the Rangers are in a heap of trouble because Mad Max, he's pulled after loading the bases. And in comes postseason hero Josh Spores. Dubon, take a seat, buddy. Altuve, he dropped his PCI. And Bregman, the final hope to win this game, he rolls over. What a job from Josh Spores. Another job, a second pinch job from Josh Smith on top of his 19 doubles, 10 home runs. He's also been hit by a pitch 15 times. That's why he has a nutty 392 on base percentage. Kirby Yates, he did allow a run, so things were a little bit scary, but he secures his 16th save. The Rangers, they're now just 5 games back. All right, so let's go ahead and do a full-blown recap on the standings and stat leaders across Major League Baseball. We'll talk about the wild card in a moment, but the division leaders, we have the Orioles at 1 game over the Yankees in the AL East, but do not discount the Boston Red Sox. They're 7-3 over the last 10, playing very good baseball the last month and a half. The Guardians, they have the best record in the American League, and I don't know how long that's going to last because they've been playing some bad baseball lately. They are 4.5 games above the Twins. The Royals, don't discount them either. The Mariners, they lead the AL West by one singular game. The Astros have a plus 49 run differential, so going forward, I might expect them to leapfrog the Mariners, but don't count out the Rangers either, who are about to get back Evan Carter, Dane Dunning, Jacob deGrom. There's another guy that I'm missing, Josh Young. There we go. So the Rangers, they could be a scary second half team if they don't trade everyone. The Phillies, they're the best team in baseball at 62-34. They're 8.5 games ahead of anyone in that division, so they probably got that on lock. The NL Central, the Brewers, they're 3-7 over their last 10. That's why the Cardinals are only 4.5 games back. And check this out, the Pirates are back to 500, and the Reds are the only other team in that division with a positive run differential, but they're 3 games under 500. Go figure. And then the Dodgers, even though the Diamondbacks have been better lately, the Padres had a fun little streak, but the Dodgers, they're 7 games up of the Diamondbacks and the Padres. And then you got the Giants. They're 47-50. We talked about that earlier in today's video. This is where things are going to get a little bit crazy. The wild card right now at this moment to end the first half, the Yankees, the Twins, and the Red Sox are in it right now. That's why the Royals and Red Sox series was so important, because now the Royals are 2 games back. The Astros, the Rays, they're within 5.5 games. But then you have the Tigers, the Rangers. The Tigers just had back-to-back W's against the Dodgers. The Rangers are about to get healthy. The Blue Jays, on paper, if they don't trade everyone, they could have a bounce back second half as well. I don't know if that's going to happen. In the NL, it's the Braves, the Cardinals, and the Mets. Who knows if the Mets are going to be able to keep their magic and, you know, the power of grimace and the power of friendship going. Arizona, they're 1 game back. The Padres, same thing. The Pirates are within 1.5 games. Then you have the Giants, the Reds. Even though they're below 500, they're within 3 games. The Cubs are within 3.5 games. The Nationals have some talent. I mean, the second half is going to be a movie for both the divisions and the wild card. All right, let's go through these stat leaders real quick. So we have Steven Kwan as the #1 guy in terms of batting average. He leads the pack with a 352, but I mean, check out Christian Yelich playing like an all-star again. Then you have Bobby Witt Jr., Shohei Ohtani, and then you have Luis Ariz. Chris Sale leads the pack with 13 Ws. We don't really care about pitching W's, I'm sorry. Aaron Judge, he's got 34 home runs and 85 RBIs, so he leads in both those departments. But check out Ohtani, Gunnar Henderson, Marcell Ozuna, and Tony Tater Santander. They all have 20-plus home runs. ERA, it's still Ronaldo Lopez. And you have Scuball, who's probably going to start the All-Star game. Or maybe it's Corbin Burns. I have no idea. You have Lugo and Tanner Houck rounding out the top 5. RBIs, we know it's Aaron Judge. And then you have 2 different Guardians with Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor. And shout out to Alec Bohm. I think he leads the world in doubles as well. Saves, you have Ryan Helsley with 32. Then you have Clase. And then the normal guys, Finnegan. Is Finnegan normal? Probably not, actually. Shout out to him. Then you have hits. Bobby Witt Jr., he leads the pack with 125. Then you have Ariz, Altuve, Ohtani, and Jarren Duran. Jarren Duran's been having a monster breakout year. Garrett Crochet, him and his former teammate Dylan Cease, they lead all of baseball with 150 and 149 respectively in terms of strikeouts. Then it goes Glasnow, Cole Reagans, and Chris Sale. Stolen bases, Ellie has 16 more than Bryce Terang, who is #2. And then quality starts, that is 6 innings without allowing more than 3 runs. Logan Gilbert has done that 16 times. That's why he's an all-star. And then if you guys did not know, Major League Baseball uses Fangraphs F4, wins above replacement on Fangraphs, to determine a lot of different rookie awards and stuff like that. So that's the WAR that we're going to be using. Aaron Judge and Gunnar Henderson, they're the only 2 players in the 6 F4 right now. But rounding out the top 10, I think it goes Bobby Witt Jr., Juan Soto, Ohtani without pitching or playing defense, which is insane. He's got a 5.2 F4 in 1/2 without doing any of the stuff that we mentioned. Ellie De La Cruz, Lindor is still a dog with top 7. You have Bryce Harper because he's playing Gold Glove defense at first base. Ketel Marte, Steven Kwan, and Jarren Duran. Both of those guys, Duran and Kwan, are tied for 3.7. So there you go. What other guys shock you? Like, to me, look at Josh Smith, who is top 20 in F4. Then you have a guy like Jerkson Profar is breaking out. You have Isaac Paredes, Christian Walker. I mean, Alec Bohm's having a breakout year as well. Brenton Doyle. A lot of great players in baseball this year. Pitching F4 leaders, we have Garrett Crochet leading everyone with a 3 ERA, but a 12.58 strikeouts per 9. So because he's in the White Sox, I don't know if that gets beefed up in terms of his F4. He's got a 3.9. The former White Sox lefty, who reminds me a lot of Garrett Crochet, Chris Sale, is second. He might be winning a Cy Young this year. Then you have Scuball, you have Cole Reagans, Tanner Houck, George Kirby. Christopher Sanchez is one of 8 Phillies who made an all-star team. Logan Webb, Tyler Glasnow, Ranger Suarez, but then Suarez, Gray, and Wheeler are all tied at 2.9 WAR. And then here are some of the best defenders in baseball ranked by defensive rating on Fangraphs. You have Bobby Witt Jr., who again has been going off offensively. Marcus Semien, a very down year offensively, but he's still been a vacuum at second base. Then you have Volpe, Cal Raleigh, Francisco Lindor is just an absolute workhorse. Will Smith, look at Will Smith having a great year. Adames, Jacob Young, the center fielder for the Nationals, Dansby Swanson, and Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie, he's getting it done on both sides. Well, that does it for the final recap of the first half of the 2024 MLB season. Thank you guys so much for all of your support on these videos. I will be making videos the next few days, so keep a lookout for those. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the second half.
That one sent hard through the middle, and a great backhand play by Altuve. Garcia not running hard.
What a play by Gino Suarez at third. Kittredge is driven toward left. Suzuki extends, drives it to the wall. Donovan!
They were Cubs teammates.
Live ball to the gap in left center by Stalling. Bader with a slide.
This guy Crawford, Matt Carpenter.
Nico Horner. Give him the gold glove. And that one's hit toward the middle of the diamond. Lindor runs it down the spinorama.
Now Josh Smith pops one up, and Bregman makes the play and goes into the netting.
Schumann's coming up. There's a one-hopper out toward Turner. From his knees, he pops up.
And that pitch is hit to Massey, who makes a nice backhand stop. He didn't give Bobby a great feed, but